What's popping, everybody? It's your brother New Breed coming through with another live stream. I'm going to allow YouTube a few moments to send a notification out. Y'all don't want to miss this one. Peace and blessings to everybody joining. Make sure you comment once you make it in. Let me know how you're doing. And by show of ones, that allows me to know that audio and visual is straight and we don't have any discrepancies. What's going on? We got to talk about MAGA. Ladies and gentlemen, it's getting very real in the battlefield. Now, first and foremost, before I start going into my news sources, let me just say what needs to be said right now. Look, I told a lot of you brothers and sisters that MAGA was going to fall apart, and we are seeing it. And the only turn of events that was least expected is the fact that they turned on Donald Trump. The Epstein list is very, very serious, right? This is something that all MAGA supporters were gunning for. They wanted this list. They were promised this list. They were promised that the swamp would be drained, and now they are furious. I mean, they're absolutely livid. And everyone from Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, Tucker Carlson, and a host of others, they are extremely upset. And this thing can get potentially dangerous. Let me just put this out here right now. MAGA is showing a lot of signs of a revolt. Some type of purging could take place based on this. Now, we got to get into the nitty gritty, man, because first and foremost, we got breaking news. The FBI director is actually talking about stepping down right now as we speak, ladies and gentlemen. He's talking about stepping down. Why? Because the story kept on changing. You know, he kept capitulating and backtracking and flip-flopping and on the reasons, not even the reasons, the whole story altogether. 1 minute Epstein wasn't killed and it was a self-deletion. Next minute he's switching it up. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, MAGA is not no joke. But by the way, if y'all like the cap right here, this says make the truth great again. That's right. Let's make the truth great again. Now, man, we have to go here. Let me share my screen with you all, because anytime you see FBI directors stepping down and things of that nature, it could be that his life is in danger. We don't know. MAGA is capable of some things. This is what I want you brothers and sisters to understand. Trump lied to the wrong people. These are people who crashed out for Donald Trump. These are people who lost their lives marching down to the Capitol for Trump. These are people who really you shouldn't break promises to, right? And you know, this is all it's about. People just want to make the truth great again. That's it. Let's just make the truth great again. Because when you say make America great, really, when was it great? Jim Crow, slavery, when was it great? Right? But nonetheless, I want to share the news with you brothers and sisters. FBI director steps down, and we're going to get into what's going on with MAGA and how they're pushing back, y'all. It's some shocking and alarming footage going around.
Breaking news. Sources tell CNN that Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino has told people that he's considering resigning amid a major clash between the FBI and DOJ over the continued fallout from the release or lack thereof of the Jeffrey Epstein memo. Joining us right now in Files, joining us right now on the phone is CNN anchor and chief White House correspondent Caitlin Collins. Caitlin, what more are you learning?
Yeah, Fred, it remains to be seen if he actually follows through with what he has told colleagues. But what we do know is that Dan Bongino has told people he is considering resigning as the deputy director of the FBI over the fallout that has continued ever since this memo was released last Sunday.
And by the way, if Dirty MAGA wants to click the link, you already know that you are more than welcome to join. All you got to do is click that link and, speak your mind. But anyway, let's go. Dan Bongino is talking about stepping down for obvious reasons. I mean, he's caught up in the wrong field, if you ask me. But let's go.
Anger inside the MAGA base has only continued to grow instead of going away, as some officials inside hoped it would. And now our colleagues, along with Christian Holmes, Tanner Rabinowitz, and Evan Perez, we're hearing that he's considering resigning after they had this heated confrontation with the Attorney General Pam Bondi over the handling of this earlier this week. And basically there was a meeting at the White House where the FBI Director, Kash Patel, was there, the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles. They were questioned about whether they were part of a story that there was basically some infighting over how this came out and this memo that said we're not going to be releasing any more information related.
Now, in case you all are wondering why Dan Bongino was talking about stepping down, is because he was caught in 4K in videos saying that there's an Epstein list and he wants it to be released. And now, since Trump switched up on everybody after hoodwinking and bamboozling everybody, he's saying, look, there is no list. And he just backtracked on his word. And he was a public figure at one point, one of these podcasters. And I told y'all, a lot of these creators who be either on a strong left, on a strong right, they be feds. And so Bongino, he's no different. So now, not only is his identity being exposed, right? But on top of that, you got MAGA running around infuriated. And now you're going to have the system closing in on each other. MAGA has become a subculture, a force to be reckoned with. So this is what's going on here. Let's go.
Jeffrey Epstein. And I should note that we are told Bongino denied leaking any story to this outlet that it was reported on. But there has been a lot of fighting between Attorney General Pam Bondi specifically and the leadership over at the FBI over who's to blame in this situation. I think the context here is obviously Dan Bongino, Kash Patel. They came from this MAGA world where they themselves had pushed a lot of questions about the so-called client list that Epstein had beforehand. And now the MAGA base is just not pleased or satisfied with what they've said in this memo that came out unsigned from the Justice Department and the FBI on Sunday night. So what we are told is Dan Bongino did not show up to work today, that he is essentially not there out of protest. But whether or not he actually follows through on this still remains to be seen. We're still reporting that out. But
so Bongino didn't show up to work today. Listen, people want to step down. They want to step away from Trump. That's what's going on right now. They're stepping away from Trump. People know that their lives are on the line. Listen, the scriptures talk about a great ethnic purging going on. And you can see this developing with the system going rogue. Now, I want y'all to think about this for a second. Put things into perspective here. I want you to really consider this, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, it's pretty much a farce. It's something off in the distant shadows for us to have another Democratic election take place. You have Elon Musk, who's creating his own political party. Donald Trump, he is the president right now. He got in by MAGA, which is a collective group of social media personalities, supporters, I would say cult members He literally had a cult that's against him right now. The ones who got him elected. They're a subculture within themselves. They're forming their own regime. And there's going to be another leader that sprawls out of MAGA. Y'all heard it here first. There's going to be another leader that sprawls out of MAGA that's going to try to do things the quote unquote right way. Right? But I'm going to tell you this right now. Be prepared for this. Anybody that they produce, they're also going to be an agent. Why? Why are they going to be an agent? Because it's already corrupted. It's already corrupted, all right? So the system is imploding right now. And everybody fell for Trump's lies. But let's go.
It just speaks to the backlash that the White House is very much feeling and understanding after this memo came out, despite President Trump the other day in the cabinet room asking, who still cares about this? One thing we know is the MAGA base certainly does.
All right, Caitlin Collins, thanks so much for that. We'll check back with you as you learn more. CNN senior justice correspondent Evan Perez.
Hey, the MAGA core is pissed. The whole MAGA base, they're not taking this Epstein list thing. They're not taking that laying down. They want that list. Listen, you got in office by promising to drain the swamp, promising to expose these things. Now I'm going to show you just how outraged they are, right? Let me show y'all how outraged MAGA is. I mean, they are pissed, y'all. It shocked me today. I even heard Hodge twins criticize. They even criticized Trump, and I couldn't believe it. They talked about how they didn't want their money, their tax dollars spent on funding Ukrainian wars for weapons, purchasing more weapons and so forth. Everything that Trump said that he would do for MAGA, he didn't do it. He said he didn't want to cause no more wars. War ends with him. There's more wars. He perhaps started the World War III. He sparked the brand for WW3. I'm telling you. Yes, and if y'all want to purchase this official cap, newbreedglobaltruth.com. If I have a moderator in the building, share the website. Feel free to share the website because this is what it's about right here, making the truth great again. That's right. Now, let me see. Let me share this with y'all. And I'm going to jump on X real quick, y'all. I got some sources on X that I want to jump into. Because, listen, y'all, look at what MAGA got going on.
From in 2020.
Peep this, y'all.
I didn't vote for him in 2024 because his rhetoric got super gay and I felt like he betrayed the base, and he was talking about implementing more immigration, and I saw that he wasn't going to promise that we wouldn't go to war with Iran. Then he got elected and it's been nothing but disappointment after disappointment. We bombed Iran. We're increasing H-1B visas, replacing American workers. There's no mass deportations. Now he's talking about amnesty. That's not really amnesty for farmers. We're probably going to go into an all-out war with Iran eventually. And now the straw that broke the camel's back was this whole entire Epstein cover-up, which is super gay. So I'm pretty sure Trump is banging kids, or he's at the very least protecting people that bang kids, which I'm just not.
And that's the thing, man. That's the thing right there. Like, birds of a feather flock together. And as y'all can see, MAGA, they didn't disappear. Y'all know. Hey, listen, they didn't disappear. They hiding their heads right now. Y'all know they're normally over here throwing stones, and they normally over here very active in my chat with name calling, but they just had to go hide in shame. They're in shame right now because they know that they idolize Donald Trump, and they know there's nothing they can actually say right now, right? They're learning that the whole entire time that I was going in on MAGA, they know I was correct. So I say, let them hide in shame. Let them hide in shame. Because, hey, we were pulling these receipts out before Elon Musk. I said, over here on New Breed Global Truth, we brung out the receipts about Trump being next to Epstein before Elon Musk. That's a fact. That is a fact. Go look back. So, Of course, you know, they running and hiding and got their head in shame right now. But let's continue.
Really cool with. So I have 3 of my MAGA hats here today, and we're gonna burn them. Yeah, so these are basically yarmulkes now, and this is a Christian country, so we're not gonna play with these anymore. MAGA hats are off. America First hats are.
I mean, basically, he's trying to say that the MAGA hats are just symbols of Zionism at this point. Listen, they're saying basically Trump is paid for by the shadow government, by the elitists. He's kissing the ring of AIPAC. So, hey, MAGA, they not having it. But guess what? I was telling MAGA this before this was made clear, and I'm not going to keep on bragging and boasting, but man, I told y'all. I told y'all. And now it's happening. Somebody said paid for, he's a billionaire. Go ahead and hit. I'm glad you asked that. First, he was paid for by Elon Musk. That's the reason he got elected in the first place. But now somebody's cutting a bigger check, and it's called AIPAC. He's doing whatever he's told. That's right. Let's go.
Burn, baby, burn. And this is a great representation of what's left of MAGA.
Do y'all hear that? That's a great representation of what's left of MAGA. Oh, man. Do you know how vindicating this is? Now, I'm saying I'm vindicated because America's starting to see that you can't idolize these people, that you can't trust them, that we want to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. That's the beginning of something. That's the beginning of something great. But at the same time now, you got to look out for the next agent that they put up. And it's bittersweet because we wanted that list to be released. It's bittersweet because we know there's a lot of politicians, a lot of celebrities, A-list celebrities, entertainers that are connected to that list. Somebody said, if you still supporting MAGA, OMG, are you serious? No, my hat, he probably said that because of my cap. Let me show you what my cap says. Make the truth great again. Because that's what all the people want right now is the truth. Which you can purchase these on NewburyGlobalTruth.com. Now, I want to go share something else with y'all. Because y'all got to understand how infuriated MAGA really is. Let me go there. Let's see. It is going down. Oh, man, I had to go through all that over again. Let me see. All right, cool. Let's go here because it's really going down, man. And then, like, it's so much going on in the news right now. Hold on real quick. What is this thing doing? Man, they out here burning the MAGA hats. And then I don't know if y'all know what's going on with the Grok AI, man. That thing that went off script praising Hitler and, you know, bringing forth all this crime. And I'm telling you, it's a purge coming. Because these people who are going against MAGA are extremists. Don't get it twisted. Let me just put this out here. The people who are going against Trump. The people who are going against Trump are extremists. Understand that. Extremists got him elected, and they have they're racist. That's why the guy was talking about this is pretty much a yarmulke now. They're about ethnic purging. They are about ethnic purging. They are racist as a mother blank, 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 right? But look at, and that includes Elon Musk. Y'all remember when he got when he got hired as head of the Department of Government Efficiency? Y'all remember what Elon did? He threw up the hell Hitler. So this is we're looking at a race war. We're looking at a race war. Let's go. Hold on. Let me see if this thing will play here. Yeah, this Grok AI thing been tweaking. It's been going off script. Yeah, I don't even know why that's not playing, but yeah, there's plenty of articles on this, but I want to share a few things. I'm having a little issues with this thing, but hold on. I mean, it's getting so racist in this country. They are literally threatening, not even threatening, they're blaming people for dying in Texas on black people. Trying to claim it was DEI hires, and that's why the incident took place. I'm telling you. This country is fueled on a lot of racism.
Founding fathers you were a fan of?
And you know, Nick Fuentes, another extreme racist. I'm telling you, man, it's getting crazy. And then when you look at it, Trump just did what? Invited a bunch of Africans to the White House. There's a script that's being written, ladies and gentlemen. There's a script that's being written. Trump sits there, brings a bunch of Africans to the White House, compliments them on their English. And meanwhile, all of the extreme racists, not all of them, but a great deal of them have separated from Trump. They're trying, listen, it's all a script. It's all a script.
It's not Mr. like that, sent $10. Are there any founding fathers you were a fan of?
Dude, I'm about to crash the fuck out, not gonna lie. I made it blurry. Oh my gosh. Whatever, it's gonna be blurry until the end.
Eisenmore sent $10. Oh please. Women are accessories. I'm so tired of this incelish rhetoric that women are just completely useless as if we don't need womb carriers. Stop with this nonsense.
Shut up. Okay, it's not like
and see, that's that Nick Fuentes guy, man. He's definitely cussing every day, man. Using the N-word every day. And this was Trump's right-hand man. So, you know, MAGA is also the subculture of MAGA is departing from Trump. See, I'm getting downloads right now. There has to be a separation between Trump and MAGA. Because Trump is an entity in himself. Trump still has a lot of power because he got them other people backing him. But MAGA still has a cause. They still have a purpose. MAGA still has a purpose to carry out certain acts on the public. Telling y'all, man, I can see this thing. It's the sight of what's happening, man. The foresight, I get it. And I want everybody to double tap the screen, get the likes up on the video. I got more news sources I want to share with y'all. Because MAGA is not taking this thing lying down, man. Let me pull this up for y'all. Hold on. They've completely turned on Donald Trump. Let me see.
The MAGA sphere is increasingly enraged with Donald Trump because he and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and
The person that says shame on you for wearing a hat. Read my hat one more time for the one time. It says make the truth great again. Make the truth great again is what my hat says. Anyway, let's continue.
Dan Bongino are saying we're not going to release the Epstein this or that. The list doesn't exist. There's no relevant video, even though that's the opposite of what they were saying for years. Let's take a look. Here is Megyn Kelly. We're going to go through everybody from MAGA who's turning on Trump. Here's Megyn Kelly, very angry with Pam Bondi.
Kind of an attorney general would pretend she's giving new information to some of the president's most loyal advocates in the press, you know, buying ink by the barrel. So either Pam Bondi knew she was about to embarrass some of his most loyal surrogates out there and did that willingly, or she didn't take the time to make sure.
I mean, look at it. They said they had the list. They said they had the files. What happened? Too many powerful people are connected. Too many powerful people have been to that island. Now, I'm going to say this. Of course, everybody who has had lunch with Epstein isn't necessarily, you know, a PDF file. But let's explain it this way. There's a lot of nefarious things that took place on said island. And anybody even connected to this guy will be implicated. All right. So some people are being protected because they may be somewhat innocent, but a great deal of them are not. But the people who are perhaps just innocent or been around, but not necessarily in bed with or done anything out of violation, right? They may still be in a position of power. So you have a lot of different scenarios that's going on right now. But also, when you look at this from the perspective of who Donald Trump is, how did we expect Donald Trump to even consider exposing Epstein? How did MAGA, I gotta rub it in a little bit. How did y'all even expect somebody from the likes of Donald Trump to expose him? No, he's a billionaire baby, an actor, bought and paid for. Let's go.
What was in those binders? She was too lazy to actually figure out none of this is new. And yet she called a meeting with the influencers that included Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, and the sitting vice president. So she's either lazy and incompetent, or she willingly humiliated some of the president's most loyal supporters.
Now, Megyn Kelly's being careful not to go after Trump.
Today I'm going to make...
Yet.
The beat kind of slapped, by the way. That beat was kind of slapping, but let's go.
But Pam Bondi is Trump's pick, and she is going scorched earth on Pam Bondi. We then go to Patrick Bet-David. Remember, these are all serious Trump supporters. Megyn Kelly showed up, and I think she even spoke at a Trump rally. Maybe she just went on stage and hugged Trump, but I think she spoke. Patrick Bet-David, overt supporter of Trump. He says this is the worst thing that's gone on so far.
You talking about Epstein? Yeah. I think good to be back on with you, buddy. But this is what I will tell you. The #1 trending hashtag right now on X is Epstein. 2 million people have tweeted with the topic of Epstein. #2 is Nicki Minaj at 100,000. Comey's at 42,500. There is a reason why people are asking about this. This is by far, and I'm a supporter. 3 times I voted for this man. This is by far the biggest fumble of the administration they've had thus far. And here's the reason why. If you remember the president winning, he had a conversation with Fox News, the great Rachel Campos Duffy, and she asked, Mr. President, 9/11, yes.
Now, I want you to notice something, ladies and gentlemen. Fox News, CNN, all of the news stations are on one accord with this. You know, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but when I see all the news stations on one accord, and I see Donald Trump not saying much about all the resistance and backlash that he's getting from MAGA, the only thing that I can suspect is that this is supposed to be happening. It's supposed to be happening. MAGA has become a subculture that's going to be used to carry out something else more nefarious. Because listen, MAGA had to separate and distance themselves from Trump. They had to. It was inevitable to happen. When I tell y'all like everything is scripted, I really believe everything is scripted. And I also believe Trump is on the list too. I do believe he's on the list. And I believe that there's a lot of people who are genuinely upset. There's a lot of people who are genuinely upset that Trump did not get that list declassified. But then there's some extremists. There are some race soldiers, as we will call them, who want a reason to rebel, who want a reason to ethnic purge, who want a reason to crash out. And you're going to see MAGA, the subculture, transforming to something else. They're getting a lot of publication. Think about this. You got MAGA being talked about more than Epstein right now, technically. You got MAGA being talked about more than the president right now. They have just literally mainstream MAGA. It was more like a subculture. Everybody hear MAGA, yep. But they have just made MAGA something else bigger. They have just made MAGA on the level of Trump, if not even more. They're empowering MAGA. MAGA's being empowered to carry out a specific agenda. I'm telling y'all heard this here first. So when y'all see MAGA crashing out, doing different things, you know, having their own political power, so to speak, then you heard it here first. Yep, it's like the KKK renamed. Oh, y'all gonna see it. It's gonna come a time where all you people who really are real right-wing conservative Christians, y'all gonna have to denounce MAGA altogether. Y'all gonna have to denounce becoming part of any of these cults, any of these movements. Denounce it all together. Read the Bible yourself. Take care of you and your family. But it's gonna have to come a time where you're gonna have to exit stage left and leave things where they're at. Because listen, it is what it is. Let's go.
John F. Kennedy, yes. Epstein, he didn't say yes. He was a little bit hesitant of bringing that information out. Why?
Right.
So why does his leadership team go out there and are like, we have this information and we're going to release this and cash? And let me tell you what we have with Pam Bondi out of the state of Florida. She knew everything about Bondi, about Epstein. Why are you fumbling this? Why are you not having an emergency meeting together to conversate and say, hey, we're going to be on the same page with messaging on this?
All right. So Patrick Bet David thinks it's no good. We then go to Tim Pool, another overt Trump supporter, voted for Trump. Tim Pool says Pam Bondi's obviously lying.
The DOJ has released a 2-page memo stating that there is no Epstein client list and nothing uncovered would predicate criminal charges against any third parties. That is
Now, we know that's a lie because Trump was asked about the list and he said he would release it. He said it hesitant, but he said it. And they told us that there was a list. Matter of fact, the reason why Trump got so much support is because he said he was going to drain the swamp and expose all of the evil, the wicked cabal. And he had a lot of prominent members, you know, really, truly in support, like Alex Jones. Alex Jones is pretty much a legend. You can say what you want about Alex Jones, but he's a legend. He's only 50 years old. You know, you would think Alex Jones is a lot older than 50. The man is only 50 because he's put in so much work. By the time he was 30, he had like 100 YouTube channels. Like Alex Jones is a legend, right? He put out so much material and uncovered so many conspiracies, so much so, you know, he had to deal with the Sandy Hook lawsuit and things like that. So when he pulls his support, that affects Trump. All of these people pulling their support, even though I'm not too much of a fan of any of those guys, Nick Fuentes, some of the other guys with these huge platforms that's on a strong right. You know, I'm not really a fan of too many of them at all, but I do know that they got Trump elected. And I know some of them are pseudo conspiracy theorists and some of them are agents. Some of them are feds, actual feds. But nonetheless, let's continue here.
My friend, you were all wrong. The conspiracy theories were all wrong. Jeffrey Epstein was simply a financier with a lot of rich friends who got arrested for trafficking and then killed himself. And there was no evidence about anything else. And he did.
For the guy that said Biden didn't release the Epstein files, that's because Biden is probably on them. We already know Joe Biden is creepy and sleepy over here. You're not dealing with a Democrat. All right, we already know that Joe Biden like to sniff and grope people. Come on, man. We understand they all part of it. That's the whole point. They're all part of it. And not only Joe, not only Biden. Carmela could have been at the damn island. We don't know. Anyway, let's go.
Everything by hand personally. Let me just cut through the BS. I am going to break this down. It's an obvious lie. I'm going to tell you why I think they're lying, and I think it's pretty obvious. But this is probably the most obvious lie of any lie ever told. And one need only logic and facts to break this down.
And that is key with Sister Just Lovely Beach has said. She said it's sad when even the control opposition is under delusion. Man, what? Imagine MAGA being control opposition, but they all really believed in Trump. And by the way, if I have any MAGA supporters in the building, y'all feel free to join. The link is right there in the chat. If you're on iPhone, then you're not going to be able to. Well, you have to grab the link and save it, or you have to do something different with the damn iPhone, right? But if y'all have any issues, let me know. Let's go.
There you go. That's Tim Pool. Benny Johnson says, guys, hold on a second. They're obviously not telling us the truth here.
This is absurd. And Bondi was talking about Epstein. Cash was talking about Epstein. Bongino was talking about Epstein. Elon Musk was talking about Epstein. Trump has been talking about Epstein. He started his presidential campaign in 2016 by linking the Clintons to Epstein. What possible interest would the U.S. government have in keeping Epstein's clients a secret? Oh, if you're a journalist and you're not asking questions about this case, you should be ashamed of yourself. What purpose do you serve? I'm sure there's a middle-class teenager somewhere that you could be harassing right now, but try and do your job once in a while, says J.D. Vance about asking questions about Epstein. J.D. Vance, real tweet. Carolyn Levitt, same thing yesterday. And just kind of like, effectively saying, there's nothing to see. When you put like the actual clip,
become part of it.
Cover, like,
All right. So Benny Johnson also doesn't believe it. And then finally, Alex Jones in tears.
Now, by coming in and being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. I mean, it's just you cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. I'm going to go throw up, actually. And this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically going to puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now. Because I have integrity.
Right.
And, I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country. And they're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this tears my guts out. And, the left, they're all complicit. They're openly promoting pedophilia. We know they're pure evil. and they'll think it's all funny. Oh, look, Alex is sad. MAGA's tearing itself apart.
See, this is why y'all got to get out of the mind frame, including Alex Jones. You got to get out of the mind frame of the left and the right. You caught up in the wrong paradigm. And Alex Jones, I gave him a compliment. He put in a lot of work, and I respect him for that. But he got to break this paradigm, this left right wing paradigm. They're one group. They're all part of the damn cabal. There is all one huge cult. It's just subcategories of the same damn cult. That's all it really is. As far as where our president lies, listen, whatever lobbyist is backing him, that's where his loyalty is at. That's it. Yeah, it's just one big dirty bird. That's it.
Your globalist masters literally want you to eat bugs and live in a 5G 200 square foot coffin apartment. You look at the left, look at them all posing with their Pfizer shots, looking like dead zombies. I mean, come on, you guys are sick. And so you shouldn't look at those of us that have a soul still and have integrity in pain over this and celebrate. You dumb.
Right, listen, the specifics matter.
Now, he's still pushing this left right wing paradigm, man. But at the same time, I get it. It's upsetting to the American people in general that something so foul and horrendous can be swept under the rug like that. But what's even more upsetting to most who can see is that people still will keep falling for these globalists and these presidents and these politicians. Man, you got to stop letting these people lie to you and pull the wool over your eyes. You got to stop. Let me see. Somebody says Alex put in a lot of work making up stuff about Pizzagate and Sandy Hook. He warned about fascism for years, but when it came in the form of Trump, Alex was all in. I mean, some of the things you mentioned, I don't believe that they're all false. But you're right. He dropped the ball. Everybody got fooled by Trump. If you don't want to be technical, everybody fell for it. That's why people are so pissed off right now. They all been fooled by Donald. Let me see here. One moment.
Prominent Donald Trump allies, including two of his top officials at the FBI, were among the loudest voices whipping up Jeffrey Epstein conspiracy theories in the months leading up to Donald Trump's second term.
That boy FBI agents are stepping down.
And they so thoroughly convinced large segments of the MAGA base that the government was hiding something on Epstein that those same MAGA voters are now refusing to accept anything else. Kash Patel and Pam Bondi's admission that there's nothing there, well, they don't want to hear it. Quote, "We have been duped, had, and epically betrayed," said someone known as the Patriot Voice, a big voice in the MAGA world. And AG Pam Bondi should be fired, according to Laura Loomer.
So here you have it. MAGA has completely turned in on Trump. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. You know, they have a right to be infuriated. They have the right to be outraged. And, you know, this is just a time in history where things are going to get serious. You know, you got a lot of radical racists that make up MAGA, and they're going to go rogue. Why? Because now they don't have the leader that they had before. So now when MAGA, who is now their own entity, now when they go rogue and start carrying out certain acts of war and political treasony and all of these kind of things that MAGA is going to be in control of doing, because they up there now, right? Now won't be done under a president. Now it won't be done under a president because, listen, MAGA is still a cult. It's still a cult. And it's very much powerful. Somebody said political treason. What I mean by that is, doing something politically that can be just off the protocols, off the rules and the regulations. Yeah, they may even become a party. You may have the MAGA party, the American First Party, and then Republican right wing. I mean, it's getting crazy out here. America's breaking down into different categories right now. It's not even a country, it's categories. Bunch of categories, right? Bunch of movements. But anyway, bless y'all. I just want to come through with this quick broadcast, man. I don't want to wrap y'all up all day. And thank y'all for watching. Y'all could have been anywhere on social media, but y'all chose to come through, tap in, and hear what I have to say. If y'all like this cat right here, Make the Truth Great Again, you can order it off of newbreedglobaltruth.com. More content coming. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all have a blessed one. Peace.